Before we begin today's video, I'd like to point out to the morally bankrupt apparatchiki at YouTube that this is a 20-round magazine, not a 30. So this is squarely in moral territory. I'm glad you guys figured out the math on that. Great job, guys. Now we can talk about the cartridge itself. This is 350 Legend, which we've been testing in ballistics gel and on targets. And we've just been having a lot of fun with this to see how accurate it is, see how hard it hits. And one of the biggest things that I've come away with in all of my tests at practical distances, hitting ballistics gel at 100 and 200 yards, is that 350 Legend really does hit hard. You get some heavier bullets, so you take a 223 size case, and instead of necking this down to fit that little 224 diameter bullet, you get this big old 35 that we have right here. This is either a 355 to 357 diameter bullet that is crammed in here. And you can have weights as high as 255 grains, and in some of our own testing, we've gone down as low as 90 grains. And you can really get those bullets moving out really fast. In the case of this one, a 180 grain Super-X PowerPoint from Winchester, this is moving out at 2,100 feet per second. And it really does hit hard. You're looking at about 1,800 foot-pounds of energy at that, kind of close distance. As things get farther away, yes, they fall off pretty fast. So that, as you would imagine, kind of a pistol-style bullet that's crammed in here is not going to have great ballistics. So it does drop pretty fast. But within some of these closer distances, like, if you take your deer at 100 yards, if you kind of know your area and you know you're going to be within 100, 200, maybe 300 yards, this is going to be just fine to get on target, and it is going to provide quite a hit. And that's what we're going to talk about today, because I finally got out and was able to test this on deer. We had just a horrible hunt this year. It was really tough. Cole, my buddy, thanks for finding the spot that we went out to. It was really fun. It was a cool place. But as he and I can both attest, it was really difficult. Not because the place that we went to was bad. It was public land, but it was actually a pretty nice spot. But the weather was just rough this year. It has been warm, it has been clear, and the deer just really do not want to move. And when they do come out, they are really, really shaky. They got their eyes wide open, they got their ears wide open, and they are just ready to take off at a moment's notice. So we didn't see all that much out there. But then finally there was a cold snap one morning, and I was able to get out and nab a deer. So let me tell you a little bit about the hunt itself. I was kind of parked in the woods where I could have a view of a few different places. I could look a little bit down into the woods to the south. I could look across a creek to my west, and kind of to the northeast I could see into a soybean field that was really overgrown with a bunch of cockleburs. It was kind of a mess. And I was looking through a bunch of trees, and I saw just a little bit of movement off to my left at least once, but really nothing was happening much at all. But then out in front of me, I did see a couple deer go past, and I had about 3 seconds to take the shot that I did as a deer passed between two of the trees, walking kind of on the edge of the field out there. And yeah, it turned out that I nailed this deer at 88 yards, standing, with just offhand, unsupported, with the CMMG Resolute in 350 Legend, and I used this right here. Now we have some different ammunition that I could have used on this hunt. I could have used either the Hornady whitetail, American whitetail. I had some others from Browning and Federal, but the Winchesters are the ones that I've been seeing most in the stores, and they're the ones that seem to be the most economical for you guys. So I wanted to test the most economical, functional option for you, and so instead of going with the Deer Season XP or the 160 grain Power Max bonded right here, I went with this. This is the one that I've actually seen at Walmart, even during this buying craze. And for I think about 20, maybe 22 bucks a box, you can get the Winchester Super-X. 180 grain bullet. You can see it has quite a bit of exposed lead sticking out right there. And this is one that performed really well on gel. It's a heavy hitter. It just wants to tear through all the gel and get to the end. So it does flare out very well, very uniform expansion. it creates a very large, I think it was past a half an inch of diameter across that face, and it just continues straight, plows right through, and it's one that you're going to get an exit wound on the other side, or at least you're most likely to. The Winchester Deer Season XP, this one came in usually at about 18 inches, that's where it stopped, and that's a shot from either 100 or 200 yards. It tended to stop a little bit sooner, and that's what I've been hearing from a bunch of you guys in the comments. I'm glad that I was able to get out and test this for myself, but I've been hearing from you guys for at least a year now, people telling me how this has been performing out in the real world, and it sounds like it's been doing great. So thank you guys for all of your stories. I've heard from a bunch of folks, especially that have been using the Deer Season XP. That's the ballistic tip. It's 150 grains, so it's a little bit lighter, moves a little faster, expands much more quickly. It really just kind of throws a great big blob of destruction out there. And it sounds like from people's testimonials that it goes in really neatly, wrecks the internal organs, and it might come out the other side, but maybe not. It sounds like we got about a 50-50 split from the folks that have been talking about that. And we did have one negative review of the Deer Season XP. One person said that it went in neatly around the shoulder area and then ended up somewhere in the butt, and it took a while to track the animal down. But for the most part, it sounds like people have been just dropping their deer right there. They just fall down dead. And the folks that have been using the Super-X have been reporting the same thing as well. It's just that this one does tend to create an exit wound. So yeah, I went with this, and I did get the results that I was expecting. I hit it not exactly optimally. I was tracking along with a moving target. It couldn't really hear me back in the woods so much, so I didn't try calling out to stop it or anything. But I was aiming for just behind the shoulder, and I ended up actually going through the shoulder, and it actually went through the scapula and then came out right around here in the neck area. Damaging the back strap just a touch. It really did pretty good on the meat. It didn't damage too much, which I was really happy about. But yeah, opening it up later, I found that the bullet had gone very neatly in, creating that 355 diameter hole, and then it had very uniformly expanded. It had created a hole that was probably about that big around, just carved it right through the lungs, and then when it went out the other side, it did carve a big hole in the meat right in that area, and then kind of came out a smaller hole on the other side. But yeah, lungs were totally destroyed. The animal dropped instantly, and we had a great big pool of lung blood there on the ground. So yeah, excellent performer. And one of the nice things about this is that fired from the CMMG Resolute, the recoil on this really is just about nothing. It feels like more than a .223, as you might expect, just because it is a heavier bullet. But it hits with authority on that end, but not so much on this end. It feels really nice, and if you wanted to get back on target really quickly, you certainly could. Now, I'm going to talk about the rifle itself and the configuration in the next video, so if you want to maybe build out something in the future for yourself, like maybe build an upper, I can show you what I used and maybe some other options you could think about to get that done for yourself. But yeah, since this was a semi-auto, it's going to be a little different than what some of you guys use. A lot of your bolt actions are probably going to feed different kinds of ammo a little bit better. It's just going to have kind of a smoother feed ramp, but the AR that I put all of this stuff through, it had no problem absorbing these, getting them into the chamber correctly, and then extracting them afterward. Very smooth feeding stuff. You only seem to get into some weirdness when you have some of the really bluff pistol bullets that you load up if you're a hand loader. That's pretty much it for the hunt. Just one shot, drop, and then I don't even have to go trying to find it later. It was super easy. But when I got it home, my 8-year-old son helped me dress it down. He helped me get the skin off, and he just loved that. He's pretty deft with a knife, and yeah, he was just really jazzed to be a part of the whole thing. And he is just itching to get out and do a hunt for himself. So I'll work on his accuracy this year, and who knows, maybe this coming November we'll be able to go out together and be able to take him a deer. And who knows, maybe 350 Legend will be the best choice for him. Actually, come to think of it, in all of my arsenal, that's probably the best thing for him. It's a lightweight rifle, it has very little recoil, and I think he'll do just fine with it. So he'll probably be taking the Resolute out again. My boy's reward for helping me out in the backyard was he got to slice a little chunk off the haunch, and we threw it in the cast iron pan with a little bacon grease, pink sea salt, and black pepper, and oh my gosh, that tasted good. I know that he can't wait to go get one of his own, and I'll let you know when that happens. Thanks a lot, you guys, for watching. I know that we've had a lot of folks here that have come to the channel because of 350 Legend, curious about how the cartridge works. If you want to check out the entire playlist, I'll put a link up here. Yeah, just thanks a lot for watching, y'all, and I will see you around in the next video. And these guys right here, these are the Patreon folks that have helped to make these videos possible. Thanks a lot, you guys. I know that some of you have been waiting to hear some of this information, hoping that I'd get out on a hunt, and it's nice to be able to bring back some info and meet with me. I'll see you guys around.
Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. Even if you didn't like this particular content, go ahead and subscribe. There's probably something coming that's more up your alley. Check out this playlist right here. This is going to have videos in a similar vein to what you just watched. These two videos we cherry-picked for you. And finally, the Social Regressive is on Patreon. So you can become a patron of the Destructive Arts and earn some goodies while helping us to provide high-quality videos just by kicking us a few bucks a month. Thanks a bunch for your patronage.